Jeffrey Jackson, he is the first person, and in fact these doodles somehow there's a kind of touch of modernity to these particular doodles, I think. And he didn't keep an alligator. John Quincy Adams did keep an alligator in the White House, actually. He didn't keep an alligator, but he loved drawing alligators or something that looks like alligator. There are tortoises, and we're not sure what that is at the top. A hat, I don't know, whether it's a tombstone, we're not sure. Rutherford Hayes, this is about how he went fishing, and he drew this little thing on his notes. James Garfield, the first president to be shot while in office. Someone who was trying to get a consulate position out of him, even though he had zero experience, was upset when he didn't get it and decided to shoot him and kill him. But he would draw these amazing mustaches, well, these are mouths, and he would send them to his children, who he loved very much and missed. And so this is a drawing of Papa, Mama, and then all the various mouths of the children that he had, and he would send them. He was a very loving father, and he would send these to his children. Benjamin Harrison is really, I think, the first great doodler. There are not many things by him, but his style is something to be noted. And then one of my favorites is who says modernity starts with Olympia? With Teddy Roosevelt, we're edging closer to real doodles. Roosevelt wrote a lot of letters to his children as well, and in fact some of them have been published. Ethel, who's his daughter, he had a bunch of children in the White House who were the scourge of the people who worked at the White House. They would throw snowballs at the security man, they would smash the windows, and he loved them so much he would indulge them massively and never tried to kind of discipline them. But here's Ethel disciplining her two brothers, apparently. Herbert Hoover, he is our first true doodler, and there are hundreds and hundreds of doodles by him. He was an engineer, and to the end of his life, he doodled only one particular style, even though like snowflakes, each one's slightly different. They're all similar in style, and you can tell a Herbert Hoover doodle. They look like this, and I think they show the mark of an engineer. Very, very, very precise in some sense, and painstaking too. Note the appearance here of the White House stationery. I can't remember which president brought in the White House stationery, but they did not have it until much later. But this idea of doing something around the word the White House, you will see again and again. Many presidents are obsessed with decorating it, desecrating it, doing things around it. So the words White House get special attention in a lot of the doodles you'll see. Here's another one that he did. Of course, he was to be vilified later on in the 30s as the president who sat at the beginning of the Great Depression and failed to deal with it. So he was asked once. He got to live for many, many decades after his presidency. He lived into the 60s, and he was asked once how he managed to live with the stigma that the 30s attached to him about what a terrible president had been, and how he managed to mismanage the early years of the Great Depression so badly. And he said, I outlived those bastards. That's how I felt. So for the American consumer, he actually didn't have a whole lot of sympathy necessarily for the American consumer, but here's a doodle for his there. And then this is what we would call the doodle by him. This doodle he doodled and threw into a garbage can. And what happened is that somebody saw him throwing in the garbage can, took it out and asked him to sign it. And he did. Then that guy managed to sell this to a collector for a lot of money. And I can't remember what the exact amount was, but it was actually a significant portion of the salary of the US president at the time. It's an underpaid job, as you know. So this is the doodle that it was published in a whole bunch of newspapers at the time. All kinds of psychoanalysts and psychologists were asked to comment on it, often side by side, so you would have various, not necessarily coordinated responses to what this doodle means. And in fact, it became so famous that someone, a fashion designer, made these baby rompers using the pattern from the doodle. I don't know if you can see the pattern on the doodle there. It became fabric. And he said he was massively embarrassed by this, but he didn't try and stop it too much.